Today I'm going to demonstrate a quick little painting tip for all you DIY home improvement people that are thinking about doing some painting projects around the house. This is a way to get a straight line, which oftentimes can be one of the most difficult things for homeowners that don't have experience with painting. Number one, always start with an angled brush. This is a Purdy brush, which I recommend highly, especially if you're an inexperienced hand. It can be very forgiving. So you always want to get an angled brush as opposed to a straight line brush. This will be a little bit easier if you're just trying to cut against crown molding or baseboards. But this is a foolproof way to go if you don't have the acumen of cutting a straight line with a freehand brush. So what I would do is take blue tape. You can get this at any hardware store or paint vendor, and apply it to any line. Say if you're going up against a baseboard or a crown molding, just kind of go to whatever edge you're trying to achieve your straight line with and apply the blue tape. You don't have to press it very hard. Sometimes if you do press it too hard, it will actually pull the paint underneath. So just put it enough so it's sticking. You don't have to really press that hard. Oftentimes people will take the paint directly onto the tape, which can work with some decent results, but oftentimes when you pull the blue tape, you get a little bleed and you get this paint on your baseboard or whatever you're trying to keep paint off of. So what I like to do, and what always seems to work, is just take an inexpensive tube of caulk, like from any hardware store. I like to use DAP. Make sure that it says paintable. That's very important. You don't want silicone that's unpaintable because it'll fisheye. So just take a little bit of caulk, and what you're going to do is you're going to seal against this blue tape line. You don't have to put that much on there. This is actually maybe a little bit too much. And just kind of very lightly press it into that edge of the tape. And then you can come back with a wet rag and wipe it clean. Now you've got a little bit of caulk is sitting on that edge of blue tape. And then you can sort of let it dry. May take 20 minutes or up to an hour for that to dry. And then we're going to come back with the paint. So now that we have our caulk is dried against our blue tape, we're going to take our trusty angled brush and whatever paint we're using, and we're going to just apply right on top of that blue tape. And be sure you don't have to lay it on super thick, but make sure you're covering that entire line. And then you can roll out the wall, or if you're painting a door, or if you're painting a door frame against another wall, whatever you're doing, we can just let that paint go on, and then now we'll let it dry. Water-based paint usually takes about half an hour to 2 hours to dry. If you're in the hot sun, it will dry pretty quick. So now that we've allowed the paint to dry, we can pull the blue tape and look at our line. Another tip I like to do sometimes is I like to take a rag that's had a little warm water on it, just to kind of loosen up some of that glue that's on the underside of the blue tape. And then when you're pulling the blue tape, you're gonna want to go real gently. And then we have a perfectly straight line. This is a paper foam board, so it's kind of, the blue tape is kind of pulled off a little piece of that. But on a normal piece of wood or previously painted surface, you're not going to get that. So this is sort of our end result here. We've got this nice clean line, and you can apply that anywhere in the house. Good luck.